The Ugly Duckling. Once upon a time, in a quiet corner of a bustling farm, a mother duck sat patiently on her nest. She watched over her eggs, feeling a sense of pride and excitement for her soon-to-be hatched ducklings. Day after day, she waited, until at last, the eggs began to crack open, one by one, releasing fluffy yellow ducklings into the world. They quacked softly, blinking at the sunlight and stretching their tiny wings. But as the last egg hatched, something unusual happened. Out came a duckling, but he looked nothing like his brothers and sisters. His feathers were greyish and dull. His neck was longer, and his feet were a bit too big. The other ducklings stared, unsure of what to think. The mother duck, though surprised, welcomed him with warmth and love. She knew that every duckling was special, no matter how they looked. The days passed, and the ducklings explored the farmyard, splashing in puddles and chasing insects through the grass. But wherever the grey duckling went, he was met with whispers and giggles. The chickens clucked and the piglets snorted, making fun of his odd appearance. Even the other ducklings started to distance themselves, afraid of being teased too. The grey duckling tried to join in their games, but no one wanted to play with him. At night, he sat by himself, gazing at the moon's reflection in the pond, wondering why he was so different. He wished more than anything to fit in, to be just like everyone else. One morning, feeling lonelier than ever, the grey duckling decided to leave the farm and set off on his own. He waddled through tall grass, past wildflowers and buzzing bees, until he reached the edge of a sparkling lake. There, he met a family of frogs, who croaked cheerfully and invited him to join their game of leapfrog. Although he wasn't very good at jumping, the frogs encouraged him to try, and soon he was laughing along with them. As the seasons changed, the grey duckling wandered farther. He met a wise old turtle who told him stories of distant lands, and a gentle deer who showed him how to find sweet berries in the woods. Everywhere he went, he discovered kindness and friendship, even from those who looked nothing like him. Yet deep down, the grey duckling still longed to find others who understood him. One chilly morning, as autumn leaves drifted across the water, he spotted a flock of graceful white birds gliding by. Their necks were long, their feathers glimmered in the sunlight, and they moved with a beauty he had never seen before. The grey duckling watched in awe, wishing he could be as elegant as they were. Winter came, bringing cold winds and icy ponds. The grey duckling found shelter under a bush, shivering through the long frosty nights. But he never gave up hope. When spring finally arrived, the air warmed and the lake sparkled once more. The flock of white birds returned, landing gracefully on the water. Curious, the grey duckling approached the lake and gazed at his reflection. To his surprise, a magnificent white bird stared back at him. Over the long winter, he had grown and changed. His once grey feathers had turned snowy white, and his awkward body had become elegant and strong. He was not a duckling anymore. He was a beautiful swan. The other swans welcomed him with open wings, and the animals who once teased him watched in amazement. The swan glided across the water, finally feeling at home. He had learned that sometimes we need to go on our own journey to discover who we truly are, and that beauty, in all its forms, shines brightest when we are true to ourselves. And from that day on, the beautiful swan never felt lonely again, surrounded by friends who loved him for exactly who he was.